Yeah, we're good to go. Sorry, I think it's just my phone. I think my phone's just been really finicky lately, so I just switched my computer because I'm at the office now. Um,
Okay, makes
anyway,
sense.
I think we were uh
We were
uh
talking about like what your I'm up a bunch versus Marth, and all I need to do is just hit him a bit. Like, what does that like play pattern look like when you get into that mode?
yeah. So in general, I think that situation I'm playing more a little more maybe passively or defensively. I'm like not rushing in to like actively seek an engagement. I like want to force him to like make a decision or like analyze like what he's kind of like desperately trying to do to like claw his way back into the game. Um, Across matchups, I think I've tried to play these situations like more patiently in general, or I think a good way of phrasing it too is like not suddenly changing the game plan from what was working the whole time. And I think last night I think for me I got really in my head because of like the person I was playing and
Hmm.
how many times I've like failed against this person before and like in the fashion that it has happened um or like not like saying to myself, oh man, I'm gonna lose, but I think like this fear kind of overtook me where I was like it was like really challenging to like control my character or like think about like what was happening all of a sudden because I think I was just so like scared, which against like most people like Kavan, for example, um I don't really feel that. I think against like the field, I've actually gotten really good about like alleviating that pressure on myself and like um kind of just sticking it out or being like just like play calm, collected, keep doing what you're doing and like find your moment to like close out the game and like don't rush for it though. And that like has served me really well in general. I think the past couple weeks I've like broken that a little more because I think there's been like a mixture of against someone like Life, I think there's a fear of like the same thing happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I played like two really good people at Star League like a week ago, and I played Kohensky, who won our Arcadian, and he's like
Yep.
he'll be PR this season.
Is he the
Um,
ICs?
no, he plays Fox,
Okay.
and then and the Kohensky, and then
Oh,
Noir.
Chili's is the ICs. Like,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
hmm And then Noir, who's like a really good Falco from SoCal. His results are amazing. And I took both of them to game five. And last stock, and I think in those situations, I really, really tried to stay composed against Noir. And I honestly, maybe like my composure didn't hinder me like as much there. He just kind of like, he just, somebody has to win and he's good. And he kind of found it. Um,
Sometimes a loss is just a loss. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, so but I think in comparison to like last night, losing that set against Life to me is like out of like fear and like lack of mental composure, either through the apathy at the end of the first, not the apathy, the fear at the end of the first game, or like the amount of mental damage that I like put on myself after the first game that like the second game I like wasn't even like present anymore. Um, versus like those other sets where I'm getting nervous and I'm like maybe reverting like against Kohensky, I'll like revert to like I'll get nervous and maybe revert to an old bad habit. Like I did this like dumb down air to like come down on him and it was gave him his last opening to win.
Yeah,
Um,
that's just
but
being
those things,
pressured.
yeah, those things I feel like more confident about like grinding and like kind of like switching out. Whereas like last night was like devastating, I guess. And I don't feel like I'm having a lot of those sets anymore. I feel like they're less common for me. Um, and I'm doing a better job at like closing, especially against players that I would consider like below my level, at least like if we were just playing like casually at home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think it's just this pressure that I'm putting on myself against people that I kind of build up as rivals or goals or people who are like a little better than me.
Yeah, and I mean it's healthy to have those players. Like you don't want to get rid of them. So I would say, let me ask you: would you consider Noir, because Noir is like excellent from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Would you consider him like he's obviously like from how you describe him, he sounds like he's a little bit of a step above yourself in life. Like not that you can't compete with him, but it's just like he sounds like he's a little stronger than the both of you, right?
Than me in life, yes.
Okay.
Life did beat him at that event as well, but on like, and Life's getting very good. Um, but overall, Noir's spread of results, like even recently, are much much stronger. Noir is like very very good.
Well, yeah, and you have good wins too. So like you both have game, like no argument there. But like he's just a little bit better. Like he is sturdier than you two. Doesn't mean you're not. Doesn't like it's like what I tell Moki when before he plays like big matches. Like they're strong, but so are you. Like same idea here. But he's a little bit stronger. But with Life, I get the impression that it's like that one's a lot. The gap between you and Life, if there is one, like if there is a measurable one, it's much smaller from the sounds of it than the gap between you two and Noir. Is that accurate in your mind?
Uh, yeah, I would, that is what I would have thought at least of this last week. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think really what we have here is we have a concern with like expectations and like putting pressure, because I think that I basically think your diagnosis is very accurate. Like for some reason you're considering Life to be a bit more of like a milestone than Noir, and as a result you're just not like able to like maintain like your level-headedness throughout the set. Which is why we have like the fear and stuff coming up. It happens a lot, especially with rivals. Like this is super, super normal. But I think that what I'm curious to know is when you notice that these feelings are coming up, and you notice that your attention is starting to like slip, and you're kind of shutting down. What do you usually do in response? Do you try to ignore it? Do you what do you try to ignore it? Do you try to like overpower it? Like what's the plan? Because even if you don't have a plan, what do you do? Like, that's really what I'm trying to get at.
If I can like catch it, I I just breathe. I try to take a couple deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
I try to I tell myself like I I I can do this. I think about, and then I think about like some basic thing. I try and think about some basic thing that I can do. Like what it's like I I try to think about how I
Okay.
know like I know I can do better than this. Like and that sounds vague, but I think oftentimes like in the Kavan set, the first game that he takes, I know with like every fiber in my being that the way he took game 1 is because of like these like silly mistakes that I'm just why am I even doing that? That's not how I play. That's not how good I am. Like I know like these aren't good things. If I just do these couple good things, if I that I've been practicing, I think it will be very hard for him to win. And then I try to focus on doing those things, and then it works. And then I think I've been trying to focus. Something that's helped is like focusing on like maybe a few more tangible ideas of what being good means, or like a good thing is. So like instead of thinking like vaguely like or getting down on myself like why is this working against me? Like why am I losing? I think like man, this is happening. If I just like get the grab here, or if I just like shield this and like play a little more patient, I will like my punish game will like outclass this guy. Like something to the avail of that. And then that kind of gives me the confidence to like fight back into the set. And it's usually I feel like my read on people's ability is usually pretty good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good at like analyzing and like if I'm getting like I played S2J last night, and figuring out if the player or like you losing is like primarily due to your own like mistakes and like you not playing to like your potential is like an easy analysis, I feel like. And against Johnny, I actually thought I played really, really good. But he won, you know, and he's just doing a lot of like tough things that I do not know how to beat. Like I was like, "Oh, wow, like you can fit a nair in there and then that turns into that combo?" Didn't know that. Like it was a lot of like little moments like that. And I'm getting my opening on Johnny and like taking it like pretty far. And I was like, but this is like kind of the ceiling of my punish game in a lot of ways. And he's
Yeah.
doing good things to get out of it. And whereas like when I'm playing somebody like Kavan, I'm like, man, I lost that game because I am making these basic mistakes that I know when I'm playing well I will not make. Like let's listen to my music. Let's focus on like shielding here, grabbing here, and that will like let me fight into the game. Um, and I think that's what I've been trying to do in these like fearful or like down situations in general. Um, some days I'm in a bad mood and that's like harder. Um, but or there's like sometimes there'll be like some baggage with it, like life, and it just like makes it harder to overcome. Like I haven't like shaken from fear in a last stock situation, I feel um, like I did against life in like a while. Which is so funny because it's like I have the control in that game. It's like why he should be scared, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But it's me who's like terrified.
I think that what's missing is we need. So you do a lot of good things. You have you have a very good process from the sounds of it for addressing this when there isn't as much emotional baggage. I
Hmm.
think that's really like the disconnect. So the thing with life is not a strategic issue in my opinion. It is a it's a mentality. It's a how your head's running basically in that game. It has nothing to do with your like technical abilities really. It's or like what your game plan is. It's just you've I always think of emotions as like clogging the mental stack, and until we address them or deal with them in some way, they're just gonna stay there and like ruin and like really occupy our ability to like operate effectively.
Hmm.
Would you say that's consistent with your experience?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's that psychological like the fear or the baggage or the state you're in. It like overwhelms the computer in your head, and then all of a sudden you can't do the calculations you've been like working on to like help you overcome smaller versions of that situation.
Yeah, like because you've got the background process. Like if we do the inner game of tennis, like self one, self two, like model, like the emotions basically turn all of the cognitive, like all of your thinking processes on, which completely crashes like the subconscious part of you. Like
Hmm.
it fries him completely because all the RAM is going to cognitive now, like conscious thought. But the problem is that the conscious thought is now directed at the worst possible thing it can be focusing on because it's distracted by something that is very charged and also has nothing to do with the match you're playing. So it's not it's we need to clear that basically. Um, Now, in your experience, when you have big feelings elsewhere, how do you process those?
Oh, just like in life?
Yeah, just in general.
Um, I'm a big rationalizer. I spend a lot of time like thinking about things and like why do I feel like this?
Okay.
What like what makes me feel this way? Why does that make me feel this way? Um, and just kind of like analyze my feelings. I'm very like solution orientated. It's
Perfect.
like it's just very easy to like, oh, if I this is a thing I can just like let go, figure something out, like move on, um and that actually like makes me feel better. I think it's like it's it's not just like a compartmentalize and like leave things behind. It's like let's like dig into that and like through the process of like digging into it, um I I like relieve myself.
No, that makes perfect sense. Like, again, I'm not clinical. Like, I'm not clinically trained. I just have a degree in it. So it's not, this isn't really, like, I wouldn't be able to diagnose or anything like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, rationalizing, I think, it is a common strategy. And the good news is I am trying to find you a solution. So we're on the same page with that. I would say here, what I want to know is, though, when you first feel that big spike of emotion, like let's say something like really rotten happens, or like you feel wronged in some way, and you have that initial like flare up of emotion, and it could be like a little thing, it could just be something,
Yeah.
some day-to-day inconvenience, but it really just gets to you for some reason.
Yeah.
What does your process look like? You probably have to like figure out, you probably have to like acknowledge that this is what's going on, right? Like you have to say, okay, I'm kind of like off balance here, like I'm pretty mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that's one thing. I think this like kind of like mounts in periods of time too. Like there'll just be periods of time with melee or maybe like something small where I'll just like be frustrated at something and like, you know, drop an expletive and then try to get over with it. But I think that sort of like negative mentality really like mounts in games for me. And it kind of like it waterfalls a bit too. Like if I kind of like let the floodgate open, it like will happen more and more, and then the frustration becomes more apparent.
Well,
Um,
yeah. So what I wanna ask you is like if you had an inconvenience, like say like I don't know, everyone gets mad at driving. Do you drive?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so like if you have like a minor like road inconvenience, like not like you got hit or something, but just like I don't know, somebody does something with their driving that pisses you off. Maybe you got cut off or something. Do you ever get the flare up there?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay. But you have to make sure that we don't like react. We have to make sure we don't react to it, right? Like we can't just ram our car into them as much as we might want
yeah.
to. So how would you kind of go about making sure you don't do anything silly there? Like what goes into that?
I mean, as far as something dramatic goes, I guess I'm not an aggressive person, so I don't really have like the inclination to like, even honk. I just like I think maybe that's kind of the way I deal with like melee is I but I'll like curse or like say like like fuck this or like say something like privately about the situation. But I think that sort of like audiates the negative emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Um
It
and then
doesn't
it kind
really
of
like acknowledge
compounds.
it either. We're just kind of reacting to it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just like we've had stimulus, which is that we've been cut off in our car, or like life is making another comeback on us, or like we SD'd and lost at Kavan game one or whatever. Like it's
Hmm.
just if we emote there,
Hmm.
it's just kind of like saying like well played when somebody fucks up in Hearthstone or whatever. It's just like we're not really like we're just kind of we're reacting to the bad emotion. We're not like we're reacting to the rise. Not a bad emotion. Emotions are just like feeling reflexes, but like we're just reacting to the fact that it's there. We're not really doing anything with it. So
Yeah.
if you can picture yourself in that scenario, what if you took a moment to say, okay, I'm pretty annoyed with that person and how he cut me off. But now I'm pretty annoyed with that person and how they cut me off. Just that. If you can picture yourself feeling that initial spike of anger and then saying that, what do you think happens to your overall level of feeling? Like what do you think happens to that initial like swell of anger?
It's mitigated for sure. Like even thinking about saying it out loud, I actually feel like better.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to imagine a situation like in, I mean the driving and then I thought about a situation in Melee and then I was like, well, what if I said that about like I'm pretty annoyed I got down tilted there. And then it's just like you've just said it and you've kind of like accepted it and then it's like harder to get mad about that. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's harder. Your emotions don't really escalate in the same way, and I think that's maybe part of my problem is like I do a bad job at like uh or like I'm doing a poor job of
How can you be doing a poor job if you didn't know this was what you're supposed to do?
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like I think And I've worked with you for like a good amount of time, and we've had a break, but like again, and I have seen your games. Like I saw you versus Iggy, and I was so impressed with how you kept fighting and kept playing to your outs right to the end. Like that set, I thought was really well played by the both of you. Because she was on
Wait, which
fire
that was that?
at the Arcadian.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, yeah. That was yeah,
Yeah.
we've been playing a lot too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, because she was on fire that day, and like I thought you were gonna win after game one, but then she
Yeah.
turned it up a ton. But I really was impressed by how you kept like playing to your outs, like right, like every single game you were like really, you never let her like rest on her laurels, and I really that made me very happy to see, because only one of you can win, but yeah. In that
Yeah.
moment, you were both winners to me. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks.
No problem. But yeah, so what I'm getting at is, I have, with my experience of working with you, it is my hypothesis, we'll call it, that you are a little too hard on yourself sometimes.
Hmm.
And you sometimes have like set expectations for yourself that are just not realistic. And I don't mean like, beating at like top level, like not beating like a Johnny or something, but I just mean like I feel like you, for whatever reason, whenever you know something, whenever you learn something, you kind of like it's almost like you're retroactively blaming yourself for not knowing it previously. And it's like, but like, that's just how learning works. You kind of get a pass. Like, I'm not saying you get a pass because, like, you still had the, like, incurred those losses, but, like, that's the penalty. You don't have, like, additional penalty on top of that, right? Like, it is, like, the challenge was posed by those losses for you to learn a new skill, for you to, like, find out more about what you're made of. You don't have to compound that because, yeah, it's already done. It's already over. The situation you have is the one you have presently, not the one that you already experienced and that's prompted you to do this. So yeah, I think that cutting yourself a little slack might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense. That yeah, it's hard.
There's a kind of a
Yeah.
logic in it too, right? Because if you were going to like create a process for how you would implement this stuff, you wouldn't be able to apply it to anything that's happened like in the past. It would all be focused on things that are happening in the future, right?
Hmm.
So, those things have contributed to the process because they are the things that prompted this to happen, like you to like figure this out. So that's another way you can look at it. It's like the improvement process sometimes by necessity involves us identifying things that we need to work on. So,
Hmm.
we shouldn't blame ourselves for having those things. It's just part of it.
Okay.
Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
You sound a little more emphatic there, so I'm hoping that you're not just like saying yes because you're trying to get rid of this subject.
No, no.
But
I know. It's I do think I need to look at things like more like productively. I think I've been trying to do that and like I felt like pretty motivated after losing generally. I feel
Mhm.
like this week for whatever reason was like particularly disheartening because of the way I think like the way I lost and not I mean at the Sunday tournament too. I just like got really defeatist 'cause I like lost to ice climbers and losers and I also played ice climbers and winners. I played like the two ice climbers at the tournament that out of the 70 people there. Um, and I managed to beat the first one, which is fun, but or it wasn't fun. I think that was part of the problem. And I think I lost to the second one in losers, and I was just like already going into the set like so frustrated and worried
Mhm.
and like just I've been looking forward to this monthly for like weeks. I've practiced so much, and this is like the only character and the only matchup that I haven't worked on, and I just like and this just sucks. And then I lost, and it just sucked more, uh and that just felt really bad. And it was like, oh, it was like the fucking past month, past 2 months, is it for nothing? Like to feel like this, and I think I just looking at it more productively and then keeping in mind that like, oh, this is like the reason or like the catalyst to like, get better at this thing. And then I tried to go talk to my friend who's like really, really good at Fox Ices and like ask him about like what his game plan is and like how he thinks about the matchup because he plays both of the ice climbers that I played against all the time. And and then I got some good ideas from him, and then I was excited to play again. So I think I need to frame things like that more often for myself.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. There's not a
Yeah.
single player who like. I think that the losses that I feel the most regret about, like looking back on my time in the game, like that, like playing at higher levels, is the ones where like I coasted or didn't prepare or just like I just kind of like didn't really show up as my giving it my all in any capacity,
Mm,
and when I know that it's because of me, like those ones suck because there's nothing to take from them. But when I'm there, when I even if it's just I had a bad mentality that day, but I still tried, like those at least would give me something to work with, you know?
hmm
Because at least then I know that mentality is what I work on. If it's a weird character that I didn't prepare for, but I still fought them and tried my best, then that's okay too. But like when it's just like, okay, yeah, this character's free, whatever. Like I think that's how I lost my first set to Duck, and then like he started like beating me, and like that like took a long time for me to like finally wrap my head around the fact that I couldn't just like Sheik my way through like the 20th best
Yeah.
player in the world. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, it's just part of it. I What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for you for for having that awareness to acknowledge and to acknowledge the feeling that you're experiencing in the match? Like it doesn't really take that long. A lot of people get nervous about like, will I really have time to like breathe and like say and like mentally say to myself that I'm angry right now? You will. But like what do you think will get in the way of that?
Um, Honestly, just distance from the memory or like not practicing it. I think that I am pretty good at taking into like account what I like observe and like learn from competing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like for me, something like this set is
Well,
when I lost the previous time to life, I think I was more frustrated with the game because of the way it kind of like produced my loss. I felt like it I didn't I wasn't very focused on like the mental part of the game and how I lost there because I like Marth killered him or like I tried to Marth killer him. I'm playing really well. And I've opened him up into an early percent edge guard. I've done that like needle off stage at like 50 that forces him to like hit my Marth killer. Um and I've like taken the stock in my mind already. And in his mind, he's lost the stock because he took his hand off the controller and he like let out this big sigh. And it felt so good because I was like, I'm playing so good. This is awesome. I've worked on this matchup. Like I'm beating life. And then sometimes when you Marth killer with Sheik, sometimes I don't really know why. Um,
Was this Yoshi
Mar
story?
this was FOD.
Okay.
And he just got the ledge. And so he like quickly like puts his other hand back on his controller. And then I just and I'm off stage now. And then I die because of like this interaction basically. And and then all of a sudden, instead of me being up 3 stocks to 1 with no percent, uh, the game is even. And we just like go back and forth, and I'm like pretty shook by this interaction, and I lose. And I think I was like so focused on like how the like lack of justice in the moment in my head because it feels like, oh, I went for something that I feel like it's good and like works like 9 times out of 10, and it like let me down, and then I lost the game. Um, and I think there's like reasons as to why. I think there's also justification for just like choosing to take the ledge there instead. Like there are better things to do, but I got like very focused on that one thing, right? But I think my focus or like my takeaway from this set with life is like way more centered on this like emotional aspect of the game. And I think that um that's what I think about and I remember like the next time I play. It's kind of like my set with Kavan, I think part of the reason why I like kept in it and adjusted was I was thinking about the previous time we had played and like how I had lost. Um, and that sort of like helps fuel me is like, oh, this is what happened last time. I need to like chill and like and do the good stuff that I need to focus on. That like memory is like what helps me the next time I like bump into the person. Um, I think this week, like this past week of competing has been like 4 events of like losing game fives or like really close stuff that I feel like I could have won. And I think like the emotional toll the week is taking kind of is like that's like what I carry into like the next kind of session of playing. And I'm gonna try to remember that.
Yeah, so this is actually segues well into like something I want to go over. So you mentioned that. Oh, actually, I just realized I've labeled this wrong. So we're gonna learn a little bit about emotions. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Cool. So what did you say? You said that you were like super super stoked about how things were going, versus life when you were up 3-1, right?
Mm-hmm. Like like
Uh,
things were going well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Things were going great.
you were like, yeah, things are going great. I'm on top of the world. Like, game's basically done. We in it to win it. So here's the thing. Uh, this here is like a chart that I've kind of created like crudely, and this is kind of like we'll make you red. You said you like red, so let's do boom. So this is you. This is your like middle. This is your midpoint. This is like assuming all things are kind of neutral. This is where your mood is. So throughout the game, when we're playing our matches, what happens? Like things go our way, things don't go our way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it kind of does this. Kind of just goes up, it goes down. Now this is all fine because we're like staying relatively centered between these two. Like it's still a fairly
Yeah.
tight distribution. The part when you want to watch for emotions is when it starts to do things like this. Why do you think? Like now, negative is obvious. Like anyone can
Yeah.
identify like why, but why do you think
Yeah.
this is bad? Or
I
like
think it. I think it potentially feels like apathy. Um,
that can
I've
be a
been
part
trying.
of it, yeah. Because it's like this guy's free. I don't need to try that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is it makes the potential swing down harder. Like I feel like if you peak too
Mm.
hard and like things start not going your way, then it is very easy to feel negative emotion afterwards.
Ding, ding, ding. I will give you massive credit for like identifying that right away. Yeah, look at how long that is. Like
Yeah.
by comparison, if we just have this like measure this from the top to the bottom, like if we measure this from like one of the sides down, it's like so much shorter, right? Like if we go
Yeah.
from here to like here,
Yeah.
that's like nearly twice the distance. So like no, 3 times the distance almost. So like then the impact like this is really why the positive emotions as much as they're fun and they're sneaky cuz like they're the ones that like you really got to watch out for in my opinion cuz anyone can get used to like identifying why the negative emotions are causing you a problem cuz they're so obvious about it. But the positive ones are the ones that get you in the subtle ways. So it's not just when I say that we want to identify our emotions in matches, I don't just mean the negative ones. I mean also like when we feel that huge swell of confidence and it like starts to veer into cockiness, that is also something to watch for. And like
Yeah.
acknowledge to bring ourselves back down because I think like it let me ask you, if you had been present that like more present in the moment instead of thinking about how you'd already won, do you think you would have liked that do you think that you would have allowed life to recover even if he takes the edge? Do you think you would have just like passively died? Probably not. You would have tried to
Uh,
recover.
no, no. And I think that emotion definitely shaped like the gameplay after because you're sort of like you're wrapped up in
You feel like you've been robbed of something.
yeah, which is how I felt at Genesis too. I think that was a big part of how I lost to Gooms at Genesis was like having game three like in the palm of my hand and then having like transformations take it away. And then like instead of like focusing on like what it really took to win from there, just being angry about what had happened and like getting and then letting that like downswing like continue to affect how I felt.
Yeah, so I would say that these yellow lines, like the ones I'm drawing here, these are kind of like the caution zones. Like when you start to get to like when the emotions start to like approach this and like leave this area, this is when you want to be doing the acknowledgement. Because once it's up here or down here, you've already like it's so hard to come back from that. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to like while it's about like on its way over here, that's when we want to like pull back. So we don't want to like if it's already at the point where we've basically given up, our day is ruined, we have waited too long to address this. Like, we've waited too long to acknowledge. We've given it too much time. So, diligence and doing this proactively, like doing this actively, building a habit so that you're doing it more than you should. Because again, like it's just a check-in. If there's no feeling there, if there isn't really much feeling there because you're just locked in, then fair enough, you'll just move on. But
Yeah.
because again, if you're locked in, if there isn't something there, you're gonna just return to the task at hand because you've done your check. You're moving on. But if there is something there, then you'll notice it, and then that gives you your chance to like deal with it. So this can be built into like part of your like this can be like integrated into your play process pretty smoothly, but the key is to like you want to do it more than you need to. I know I don't think we ever like formally discussed how much time we're spending together. Is it an hour and a half? Like what's the plan today?
I was down for an hour and a half.
Perfect. So I have something I want you to do for me. We're gonna go into some ranked, and I want and as you are playing your sets, I want you to be kind of like imagine before we start. I want you to kind of imagine where is the yellow point for you. Like where do we start to like get out of that like middle ground? Because some ups and downs, some like minor fluctuations in mood, that's normal, that's expected. But like when does it start to like tip over? And how do we know that that's happening? Can you take like 30 seconds to just think about that and what that looks like for positive and negative?
Like what are the markers?
Yeah, like
For
what do you specifically do? So like for me, I'll give you an example. So for me, I get when things are going my way, I get cocky. I get very BM and I start like wanting to style on people. I want to stunt. I want to hit them with the most disrespectful things possible because I'm just having a ball. I start to look reckless. The one I always associate with me is like lazy and reckless. It's just like it's like I'm just like, oh, just run into this. So when I see myself doing that, especially with a lead, the second I lose that stock or the second I notice that it's happening, that is usually my cue to be like, okay, so is this happening? Am I doing the thing? Okay, yeah, I'm doing the thing. Let's reel it back in. And, okay, this is happening. It's okay. It's happened before. But let's just kind of move on from this because we have an opponent and they just killed us. Or they have an opponent, they just won an exchange. Like, something like that. That's what it looks like for me when I start to get like hyped. When I get sad, when it's a negative emotion or like something that's like more downward slanted, for me it's always like I start asking myself what's the point. So I start to like I kind of like start to detach in a way. Apathy you mentioned. Apathy's a good one. So that's kind of where my negative, like, or anger. Anger is the other big one for me. So I start to get, like, I start to feel, like, wronged or, like the opponent's playing lame. Like, I'm just, like, I'm a boomer gamer. So it's all that stuff. Having heard that, can you pinpoint any behaviors that you can think of that you have, or, like, thought patterns that would be associated with these upswings in mood or downswings in mood that you'd be able to spot and then kind of use as an indicator that, okay, we're acknowledging this is happening, moving on?
Yeah. So I think sorry, I'm actually writing it down as for as
No,
I'm listening to you. So for
sounds good.
positive, I feel like similarly, I'll start going for um maybe like reckless or like interesting options. I think like a common thing is like if I'm really up, I'll go for like a ridiculous edge guard and like just or like on stage, like go for like a ridiculously hard read. That's just like because it's like fuck it, it'd be cool if this hit. Um I think also a feeling or a moment of uh this idea or this line in my head of like, oh, I've won, which I think is bad. I think that like feeds into complacency for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to banish that one a bit more, but it's still like, it still surfaces. It's like I'm gonna fucking win. And I'm like, no, that is a surefire way to find a way to lose. Um,
So
and
the
I've been trying to like retain from talking to Bjergsen, actually, I've been trying to maintain like consistent focus throughout like all my sets, no matter like who my opponent is.
mm-hmm.
And that's been helping a bit. Is like this. There's a longer explanation, but I'll send you something.
Sure.
He was talking to me about this because I was talking about like how some days I feel like it's like really difficult to kind of like clock in and focus
Oh
and
yeah,
like
I've seen stuff like this before. This all makes sense.
yeah, and we were talking a lot about that. So like what I've been working on with the feeling of having won against like weaker opponents is like playing my absolute like hardest and best like to close out games no matter like how good the person is and like not thinking like as soon as I have that thought of like this game is like wrapped or this game is over or like I don't need to like try that hard. I think I have apathy too actually, especially against like lower skill opponents as like um those are like my extreme positive
Hmm.
signs I think. And then for negative, I feel like a physical thing I have is like like when I've really given up, like I think there are signs of like being frustrated or angry that are sort of like weird, like in that yellow zone maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is like too far gone now that I think about it, but one like really big one for me is like I almost like physically deflate. I feel like the like tightness in my muscles goes away. Um,
Hmm.
I like just let out a lot of like air. I like start to get sad instead of like angry. Um, it's like the next stage, like past being frustrated or angry.
Yeah, I would
And as
say
soon
that
as I'm like,
this sounds like it's more over here. Like this, I think is like it's either bordering on or it's like too far gone.
yeah, and I think it is really, really, I think I've like almost never won at that stage ever. Uh,
What comes before that?
I think it probably just mm, nervousness. I think being nervous is like a sign. I think I like, I would consider it a negative emotion, I guess. Like nervous,
Afraid.
scared.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, uh,
Afraid of what?
afraid of losing. Yeah.
That's a very understandable fear.
Um,
Nobody wants to lose, and you know you have put a lot of work into it. So it's I think that you're afraid it will say something about you that it can't say because it's simply a loss, and everyone has losses. Um,
yeah, I think that's it. It makes me feel like, what does this mean about the time that I spent? What does this mean about like what other people perceive too? There's like a layer of
mhm.
that for sure.
But the cool thing is that this is your career in this game or your journey in this game, and not theirs. So their input only matters if you decide it does.
Mhm.
So, especially when you have Fox, Peach, Marth, whoever trying to murder you, I think that you can. It is okay if you prioritize your own thoughts and opinions over what everyone else thinks, because
Mhm.
you have real problems going on in that game. Namely,
Yeah.
like the princess or the royals or the cyborg dog that wants to murder you. Yeah. So let's. One thing I want to kind of comment on. What's interesting, and I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that, but what's interesting is that you sound a lot like me because I used to do like that, to make sure I'm locked in, trying hard against like lower level opponents all the time. I found that exhausting personally.
Hmm.
Do you ever find it exhausting?
Um, kind of, yes.
Do you think it might be easier if you just if we just acknowledge, okay, as another player, they have the right to win, because anyone who dares enter the Coliseum is allowed to win. And you will give them the respect they deserve, the base respect they deserve as a player on that. But maybe the goal of these games isn't to win. Maybe the goal of this game, maybe these are good games for experimentation, because they are more controlled settings, because you're a stronger player. Is it possible that maybe you're confining your learning process or putting restrictions on yourself in spots where they don't need to be?
Like,
It's okay to have fun and goof off in friendlies sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Especially if you're like way better than, especially like if there's a skill disparity and you want to try stuff. It's okay.
yeah, that's interesting, actually.
I know,
Mhm.
I'm so weird, like, why would I recommend that? That's, like, heresy in this community. But, like, seriously, think about how good, like, Mango did not get as good, like, I get the impression that while you do believe in process, you also have an appreciation for the human elements of the game, because you keep emphasizing how you like getting a read on people and understanding where they're at in their journey and, like, things like that, which is totally cool. Like, the human elements
Yeah.
of the game are important. Do you think Mango got that? Mango's the best at those. Do you think he got that by, like, just constantly doing the correct, or, like, the B&B punish? Probably not. He tried things. He experimented. He goofed off. Yeah. Because there's more to the game. There's always more to the game than what we can see. And sometimes it's important to go digging for it. Sometimes we want to go digging for it. And we should have the right to do that.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like this is turning gears in your brain. We're making you think about something.
And not just. Yeah.
Do you think?
I guess for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to think about like why this would be hard for me. I don't. Yeah, I guess like the way I've always like played and like even in friendlies generally, not that I'm like always going 100% in every friendly, but I think I have this idea that by like I think there's like an ego part of it where for a long time I think like losing any game is like a reflection of me like failing. And I've been trying to let go of that feeling, but I think I've not done a great job of that. And then there's a different point of it where I think I've actually turned lower level matches into something like very productive in my head, where I feel like I should be trying to like optimize and like try to do the things I've been working on that are like really good, and I should be trying to do that really, really well.
Yeah.
And um, because if I'm not doing that, then I'm like wasting the time. But I think the idea, it sounds stupid, maybe. The idea of like playing to like have fun is sort of like, it's like tertiary in like the reasons to play. And I don't really think about that ever.
Well, and you know what? I want to be clear that so there's kind of so the way I kind of approach improvement is you have playing to learn, then you have playing to refine. Usually when we're learning the game, we do a lot more of the playing to learn part because there's so much to learn. We don't know our characters. Every time we learn a new technique, we kind of have to reevaluate how we do everything. And there's a lot of transformation in that time, which is wonderful. And then once we kind of get to like a competitive level, we tend to like lean more into the play to refine side, which is more of like, just exactly what you described, just getting all the things that you already do and making sure that they're in tip-top condition. So we're basically refining efficiency. One of them is more about synthesis, like taking ideas and putting them together, and the other is more about like efficiency, i.e. making them blend as seamlessly as possible. But you usually have to still balance them or have like some of them, like you still have to have both at like even at high level because the metagame changes. New strategies are uncovered, the game evolves. And I think that really one of the advantages to, just giving yourself permission to not have to play for refinement, especially in lopsided friendlies, is because it allows you to like kind of just, tinker with things, to test ideas, to just, if you have a flicker of inspiration, you can follow it without feeling like you're doing something wrong. Because the only time you're doing something wrong, in my opinion, is if you're not improving or not learning. And yeah, like improvement, like practicing the same things over and over and over again, it eventually does have diminishing returns if nothing new isn't being added, right? So just food for thought. I'm just saying that like it might be good, it might feel also less exhausting to ease up a bit and allow yourself to just do whatever the heck you want to do in a game.
Okay. Yeah. That sorry, could you say the part you said to blend efficiency, and then what was the other word you were using?
So one of them is about synthesis. So playing to learn is all about synthesizing ideas. Like we have existing things and then we're adding more things. So it's just putting them all together. Like it's clumsy, it tends not to be very polished, but we're just integrating more stuff. Playing to refine, the other side, is like what we do before like big tournaments. It's when we have so from the playing to the learn phase, we have this new play style. We understand it's good. It's not fully it's not finished in the it's not finished in the sense that like the things are still too clumsy. So then the playing to refine part is supposed to address that by improving the efficiency of those components. It figures out exactly when we do the new things. It figures out where the transitions are, how they work. It's more about like taking it's really like putting the details, like if we think of it like a drawing, playing to learn is about like putting all the stuff on the page and then putting like just like the underpainting, the basic shapes, yada yada yada, and then the refined part would be where all the details go in. Because it's basically taking the existing things that's there and just making it the best version of itself. But eventually, as new things are discovered, as the metagame shifts, as more powerful options emerge, as just the normal fluctuations of the characters and how they do their options, like as the metagame goes through its next season, what the best thing will change and adjust. And sometimes that means that it will necessitate playing to learn for a bit. And then we'll add the new things if they're important enough, and then we go around to playing to refine again. And it's just playing to learn. One of the key things though is you can't be like judging yourself for making mistakes during that phase, because mistakes are how we learn.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot.
Something I should let go of too.
Yeah. So there is a logic here to being nice to yourself. Like, it is sensible to be nice to yourself because it only gets away in the learning process.
Okay. Yeah, I should be, like, eager to try new things.
Oh, you can be eager. You should. I mean, you probably will be. I'm not sure I'd say should. Because, you'll do it if you want to. But it sounds, from your reaction, it sounds like you're at least intrigued at the prospect. Or interested at the prospect.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I think today, just to keep things focused, I would still like to just make sure we're doing the acknowledge the emotion, positive or negative, as we notice it happening. All you have to do for this one is just name the emotion or feeling as it happens in the match. Can be just in a word or just like a short sentence, like I'm annoyed with that SD. That's it. That's all that's needed. I don't need more detail than that. But I think, yeah, I think that would be a good starting point. And then on your own time, I would just challenge you to keep doing that. Like, but also like test out, like, you know, dedicate some of your playtime to like trying new things and see how it goes.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm gonna give you my spectator code, and let's get you. And do you have any questions, or are you ready for ranked, or do you have anything that we need to cover on this still? You can also like You can also do a quick warm up if you need it. Totally fine.
I don't think I have any questions. Just reading back through the notes.
Sure.
Yeah, no questions.
Beautiful.
And I'll set up
Yep.
spectator ID.
Yep. Just have to have the game running. You know, I was one hit away from getting into top 128 at Gommel.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I think I saw your
Yeah.
your bracket actually.
Yeah, I got 129th. I was last stock, last hit with Liquid the Marth player, game 4. And then last stock, game 5. If I want either of them, I make it in.
That's incredible. How did you feel about it after?
I was like, you know what? If I had to lose to somebody today, I'm really glad it was someone like Chris. Because that was a phenomenal set. I played really well. He just, like, outplayed me. Like, he clutched it fair and square, so good on him. And I know he's good. So it's like, I fought a really good opponent. I wasn't able to overcome it, but, like, I can see that, like, maybe this is more doable than I thought. That's how I felt. And I was like, it felt really, I destroyed him on FD. It was so sick. Like, I want Ness Marth against, like, Liquid on FD. Like, that's crazy. Like,
that is crazy.
How are we doing on the spectator ID? I don't see anything popping.
I haven't popped a match yet.
Oh,
is it coming up now?
Did you go start broadcast?
Oh, I think I did.
Okay.
Wait, oh.
Because you have to enter it and then hit start broadcast, but I'm not seeing it. Let me close mine and...
Oh, there we go. I think I did it.
Okay, cool. I just closed Slippy, so let me just reopen and see what's going on. And hopefully I did not, like, blow everything up. Okay, I gotcha. Excellent. We're good. What character are we up against? Like, have we found someone?
I'm queuing again now.
Perfect.
I'm just playing one unranked game.
Nice. How'd it go?
Oh, I got Moshis. Oh, awesome.
Ooh.
This guy's quite good. I've been itching to play him. My first seed at the Arcadian bracket had this guy. The first round of seeding had him in my bracket at the Arcadian, and I actually went out of my way to practice Sheik Game & Watch for so long.
Nice DI on that. Yeah, Sheik Game & Watch. Honestly, like, Game & Watch is really good at, like, everything that isn't defense. Like, his advantage state is crazy. He hits hard. His moves are great. Like, it's just like when he has to block or shield or whatever, or like recover, like when he's like not murdering the opponent with his disjoints, he's just not good then. But like for all of the parts of the map where match where he's in control or on offense, he's quite good.
Yeah, he's fun to play.
He's kind of like Ganondorf in that way. Like, he's kind of like Ganondorf and Marth, like, combined, but, like, without their Ganondorf's weight or Marth's, like, recovery. Martha's a good recovery. I will die on this hill.
Oh.
They always go low and try to sweet spot, so what I would recommend doing is just, like, Sammy stalling. Like try to, like, edge hog him a little bit.
Oh. Tried to go to ledge there.
Nice.
Oh. Just that jab.
You can shield grab the down air, you just have to wait for the second hit. Like, you just put a slight delay on it.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things where it's like I gotta get in like game and watch mode, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I just view it as like you're waiting for a jab.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Relax. Well, what are you feeling right now?
I'm honestly just excited to play him because I've been wanting to play him for a while.
Nice. You can shield grab his fair like a lot of the time. Nice. I love that you know how to do that. Like, it's such a small thing. And if he lands on stage, you just like nair him or whatever, or up air him.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh no, I overextended.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I just need to do it again like Marth.
Yep.
Oh no. Yeah.
That was good. That was really good drift by him.
No. I'm frustrated I didn't just Sammy stall because that would have been better.
Yep. And now how do you feel after acknowledging that?
Better. Oh no.
So let's all. So as part of this, when we acknowledge, we're also going to take a deep breath. That's the next step. We'll play this guy again. We'll play a few more games. We'll just play this guy like until he like leaves.
He's gonna quit out after one game. He's like a kind of a nuisance of a person, honestly, but he's fun to play.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Did he quit out?
Yeah, he did.
What a jerk.
Yeah, he's a prick. I've heard from people that he's like just not very nice.
Well, we got a Falco.
Wait, what is he doing?
Ooh. Yeah, like he was slightly too far. That was interesting. The needle setup.
Okay.
I think this guy's just being BM.
Yeah, that's okay.
How does it make you feel?
Let's play one more game and then... Oh, wow. Oh, wait.
Just batting him around.
Alright. GG's. Alright, I'll play ranked.
Let's do it. Oh yeah, you saw the OODA loop stuff. What did you think of it? I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but if you did,
Yeah, I looked at it like right before I called you. It's very interesting. I think I just need to think about it a bit more. Like I like the idea of like segmenting and like breaking things down like that. I think it's I guess it's like challenging to uh see like think about like how I fit that like live into a game, but I guess it's actually about like taking kind of like pieces of that into a live scenario.
yeah, I'd say you're already doing it actually. Because like, remember when you were playing with Zane, when you were getting coached by Zane, what was he
Hmm.
doing? He was telling you like, what percent are you at? What character are they? Like, what do they want to do? That's the observe. That's the observe and orient step, and then and decide actually. Because it's like, yeah, it's just like what's the situation? All the what he's it's like a condensed version of this or like a simplified version, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Like contextual, visible, and then what do you have, and then like make a plan and go.
Also, you know who Dicelo is, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I played him a long time ago. At he was at my first Canadian tournaments I'd go to.
Oh, good to see his playstyle hasn't changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually played him on ranked quite a bit.
I love how you set yourself up and like knew you were late on the rhythm. So then like you just kind of like you just did like the short up like set up the jump in. That was really really savvy. And I also like that it's good against like what Cody does in that spot, which is the short up down air. Cuz yeah, if Fox or Falco like short up down airs with Sheik short upping in front of them, she just like beats them out with fair.
Oh. Oh no. I that that felt like a lazy option, but
But that's not a lazy is not a feeling. So what's the feeling there?
just sad I picked that like I went for something like that because I just wanted to input something that was like easier than what would actually kill him, I think.
Okay.
Because the timing was less tight because I just want the stock to close out.
Gotcha. So there was a little uncertainty, so you picked an option, didn't work out, a little sad. Makes sense. And how are you feeling? Still sad?
No.
Hmm.
Oh. Yep. Wow. Nice recovery.
Nice pressure. Love that string. I was working with a Peach player testing out the Zane like coaching thing, and then I was just like, we ran into problems with like Falco because it's like, what does he want to do? He's like down here, and I'm like, true.
He does want to down there.
I was like, if he was at like 0, then later he was at like 105, and he was like, yeah, still probably down here, and I'm like, you know what? I can't fault you for that. Like, it's like that's on me. I set the bar too low. Clean. How are you feeling? Any spikes?
I'm not really in this game.
Nice. Keep going then. Just do your thing. Slightly too late on that. Needed to like shoot a touch earlier, and then it would have connected to the down smash that you wanted after.
Yeah.
What about now?
Not spiking, just like I'm going for like kind of like simple urgent things. I think I dropped what I was doing that was working earlier, which was like playing around plat a little heavier,
So what are you
more
feeling?
aerial heavy.
So what are you feeling right now?
Oh, maybe a little more urgent, but still really confident. Like I'm not worried about losing this game right now.
So what? Okay, cool. So Cotton, a little urgent. We're feeling maybe a little rushed, but we know that we don't have to be. Cool. And how about now? Are you still feeling that sense of urgency?
It's going away now that the game is over.
But what about before it went over? Because like we acknowledged it before. Was there a drop or was it kind of the same? Like what do you recall?
Hmm. I guess a drop in the urgency within the game. I think maybe I'm conflating that with like the,
Winning.
the urgency of action with like I dropped the urgency of action. I was like I can play slow and go back to how like I was playing around the plat before and like I will be fine. But I think there's an urgency in the sense that or I think maybe an intensity, like I'm getting like a little tighter and like but in a good way. Like I'm focusing to like activate what I'm thinking about. It's
Cool.
like not negative to like focus in that way, I think.
No,
Um,
definitely not. Like focus is neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. If we fixate too much, obviously we can run into problems. But like, yeah, we need some focus. So yeah,
oh, all good. I can OMS attack that.
it's a tricky OMS attack, but I'm pretty sure you can do it.
Oh, he knew that time. So I'll do that a little less, maybe. Okay. A little frustrated that I was late, but that's okay. It's a little annoying, but it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Glad your chip. You got your chip. 22 is good.
A little greedy. Yep. When he does that spot dodge, he just shields after.
Nice.
Okay. Grab him again. Slow down. Focus. No. Okay, he's doing the jab like Yingling does. Oh, I frustrated. I missed my dash because I knew I would get out of the way of that.
And how about now? Still frustrated?
No.
It's cool, huh? It gets rid of it right away.
Okay.
Granted, this isn't as intense as life, but like you can see the utility of this, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's take my time. Okay. That's funny.
Are you Fox? Ledge dash up smash.
Yeah. I was trying to up tilt.
I had a feeling.
Okay.
Oh, I love that needle dash attack.
He's dead?
Yeah. You want to jump again for the second volley of needles. The ones you did on the ground won't hit him if he is still alive, whereas like short up needle will.
Oh, I thought he would down tilt. Fuck.
That's okay. We made a wrong read. It happens.
Okay. Wait, I didn't even mean to do that. That's fine.
Falco exit stage left.
Oh, he DC'd. That's
Jerk.
funny.
What a jerk. We're getting all the mean people today. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I will re-queue.
Yeah. Let's queue one more. And then we'll be at time. But yeah, like, how are you finding this? Like, I know that this is a little different than what we've done in previous sessions, but how did you find this one? And yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think this is good for me because I do think that I get like, you know, visibly like I think I'm just an emotional player. I think I also, I get visibly emotional about the game, whether it's like happy or sad or frustrated. So I think when people tell me that I need to kind of like not tilt, for example. I think it's like I kind of loosely get what they mean, like or like I loosely agree with them, but I think it's like really hard for me to find something like actionable for that other than like just trying to be like calm and like almost apathetic. So having something like this that like engages with the problem more directly is really helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
because like we can't just like assume the problem. Like the problem with a lot of the don't tilt lol is that it assumes the problem isn't going to happen, but like the problem we wouldn't have to deal with the problem if it wasn't happening. Because it's just kind of to me that's just circular logic. It's like, well, just don't tilt. It's like, okay, well, how? And they're like, I don't know, just be calm. It's like, but being calm is like the starting point before tilting. If we didn't get from that to that, then we wouldn't be having this issue. So we need
mhm.
something that allows us to confront it. And I think it also gives us a lot of sense of control. Like, I think it gives us a lot of control back when we can confront it, because it's like, this thing will happen, but it happening is not the problem because I am capable of dealing with it. And being capable is awesome. Our brain loves it when we're capable.
Yeah, capable. I think that's in my mind, it's like being capable brings confidence. Um, like I think that's something that's been helping lately as I've gotten like better at some matchups is gaining like that feeling of like gained proficiency in matchups and like competency at a like game level has made me very excited to play and like gives me confidence against in spots that I didn't have it before, I guess. Um,
Absolutely.
Still searching, by the way.
Maybe we won't search because like we're coming up on time, so we have 3 minutes. Why don't we chat for 3 minutes? Um,
Okay.
so let me. So I kind of am curious because you have like you have gotten way better. Just over like I can see it in your play. You're a lot stronger than you were when we started. Um, I'm curious as to what are your goals with the game right now? Would you say?
Um, so I honestly don't have like um mm, I don't have like a very like concrete goal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I would say I've really enjoyed just improving like incrementally. I think like I'm having more fun doing that than like focusing on like a PR or something like that as an example.
Okay.
I think when I think about it, like, oh, what would be like a cool thing to like aim for? I think getting on SoCal PR would be really cool. I've never been on like a state or a regional PR like ever. So getting on SoCal's, which is like the hardest to get on, would be pretty cool. Um, I think more concrete goals for me is like I want to like there's kind of I mean, I guess maybe SoCal PR and this go hand in hand in a way. There is like a tier of player that I am in SoCal right now that I want to like escape. I want to be capable of and like and consistent enough to consistently beat the people in that tier that are like around me. Um um and I want to be able to play like Life and Wyatt and Glasper and Iggy and Alberto and they're all improving too. So like these goals are, you know, these change and they're malleable in a sense, but I want to be able to play that tier of like player that I think I'm kind of in right now
Mm-hmm.
and beat those people consistently and be like a tournament threat that is seen as like that I am confident like and capable of like beating those people like every time. I think that is what so like the tournament sets that I'm most like excited about and like pressed about is like even though I like beat Curve that one time, I don't really care. I mean like I do care, but I don't care as much about trying to beat somebody like Curve or Null as I do winning that set against Life or winning the set against Glasper. And
Okay. So you want to be
um
powerful again and fight your rivals and win, and yeah, be respected. That's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah. And improving being like the central goal has kind of like just gone hand in hand with this. I think like, if I reach that goal and I am sort of out of that tier, then by the nature of like the overall goal, I think I will just latch on to the next group of people that are sort of at the next level. So that's not the goal to like finish with, but I think they are just the like figures that I can like set up for myself right now that I like practicing and like playing and like proving myself against, and playing those people is like really fun.
Awesome. What if I told you, so we're at time, but this is the last kind of thought I want to leave you with. What if I told you that I think one of the biggest advantages that they have over you is just that they're not always doing their best plays when they're doing their practice or when they're playing their friendlies and stuff. It is in the experimentation that they broaden their skill sets, and that gives them a lot of advantages over you. So one of the things that I would suggest is just try more things. See what works, see what doesn't. Push your understanding of the limits of your character, and you'll be surprised and I think that you'll be really surprised at some of the directions that open up in terms of where you can take your style, where you can take your play next.
Okay.
So, like, one thing is, I noticed that there were a bunch of spots where you could have actually tipper up smashed and killed the Falco.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of, like, automatic kills that you had where you didn't have to edge guard. And, like, that's a very small example, but you can see what I'm getting at. Like, there's these discrete moments where there's, like, a play that's, like, really, really strong and we're not even, like, considering it. And, you know what? In tournament, maybe you go for the fair because it's easier. But you should have the choice of which one you do.
No, I super super agree. I think there's like a default that I push towards, especially in a situation like that. It's funny you mentioned the up smash though. It's like I actually so I've been trying to do it more, and I actually did it in wait, where's the stream? Did it go down like multiple times? Interesting. I did it in my set against Kavan yesterday.
Ooh, let me see if I can find that.
I'm trying to pull it up. Yep, I found the set. And okay, I think it's past. Here's the VOD. Timestamp is 1:15:24. It's in this FD game. And I like pop him up, and instead of fairing him, I just go for up smash.
Okay, perfect. Let me take a look at this. Let me just get this on the screen that has the recording. And okay, so we've got the down throw, we've got the jab, dash attack, down tilt. So that's
I found it's 1:16:36.
1:16:36. Okay. Oh, nice dash dance on like the tech. Okay, cool. F tilt. Cool. We got a dash attack. Oh, gorgeous. That's that good stuff. Let's go. That's that cool Sheik stuff. That was sick. So how did you know to go last thought for real. How did you know to go for that? Like what was what cued you for that?
Yes, the day before at the tournament on Sunday, me and Iggy were playing like a practice set after the tournament was over, which I won in a reverse 3-0. And
no big deal. Anyway,
and then the last game was on FD, and Deez, if you know who the Deez is, the Sheik player.
Yeah,
Deez
I know
was watching. Deez was watching us play the whole time, and then we talked for a while after the set was over, and he was like, "There's a lot of situations, especially on FD, where you don't need to like add in an extra move. You can just up smash. Like a ton of your moves just look on FD especially to link into up smash instead." And I was like, "You're right." And then I played Kavan on FD, and I was like, as soon as I pop him up, I should just up smash. And then I tried it.
So a cool tip that you can add to that, like a quick one, is that the way Sheik's combos are basically like you kind of like have a 50-50 of like hold in, hold out, right? So the way I view her tipped up smash is that you're structuring the combo so that if they hold in, you can build towards the vertical kill as an alternative win condition. But if they hold away from you, then they're going into the spot where your fair is good. So you can kind of like parse it that way. Does that make sense? It's kind of like if they go to the edge.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see. So like, wait, if they DI,
So if
sorry.
you're comboing with like dash attacks and up tilts and stuff, like let's say you hit dash attack to up tilt and they DI away from the up tilt. A lot of times you can't like up smash that, but you can still running fair that because it's quick. So what I'm saying is that like that's kind of how I set it up. If they hold in on that up tilt, what I do is I start doing the down airs and stuff so that I can keep like moving them toward like their health, like their damage towards the point where I eventually can tip or up smash them. And if they hold out at some point, then I just running fair them. But if they keep holding in, if they keep allowing me to hold them in place and go like directly above me, then eventually we play for up smash because they've allowed it to happen.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does that make sense, or does it sound like...
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So Aiden, I'm going to let you go. This was lovely. Hopefully I can hear from you again soon, and if either way, I wish you the best with this stretch. It's tough, but again, the key is like kind of figuring out where to do the identification before it's a problem. So I would say, like, even if there's small feelings, I would still acknowledge those ones too, because I have a feeling what you define as like a small feeling might be what I define as a moderate or big feeling.
Okay.
So yeah, just be liberal with it, and that's all.
Could we schedule next Tuesday? Would that be cool?
Absolutely. What time do you want?
Could we do 2:30 your time?
2:30 my time? Yes, I can. There's somebody there at like 2. There's somebody there currently at 2 to 3. Is that a problem, or should I ask them to move? Or like what?
Oh, like 3 your time?
Yeah.
Then? Yeah, I'm good with 3.
And for an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Perfect. I will see you at 3 next Tuesday, and I will make a note of that in the Discord, so it's like there, and I'll pin it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
I'll talk to you soon, but I'm really excited to be working together again, and yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.